Now Professor S. Ramaratnam, the Vice Chancellor of Jagadguru Kripaluji University, Orissa, on Jagadguru Kripaluji's Maharaj's contribution to Vaishnavism.
எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். முதல்ல தமிழ்ல சில வார்த்தைகள் பேசணும் அப்படின்னு பணித்திருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகையினால சில வார்த்தைகள். அவர் ஆரம்பத்துல முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி எல்லாருமே ஒரு விதத்துல வைஷ்ணவத்தோடு சம்பந்தப்பட்டவதான். இதம் விஷ்ணு விசக்கிரமே திரேதா, இத மக்கள் சொல்லாம்படிக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு கிரியா நடக்கிறதா? விஷ்ணு சஹஸ்ரநாமம் சொல்லாம்படிக்கு யாராவது நம்ம இருக்குமோ? அதனால எல்லாருமே ஒரு விதத்துல வைஷ்ணவாதான். ரெண்டாவது விஷயம், வைஷ்ணவ கோயில்கள், விஷ்ணு கிருஷ்ணர் கோயில், ராமர் கோயில் யாருமே போகாம இருக்கிறது இல்லை. அதனால எல்லாருமே வைஷ்ணவாதான். மூணாவது, ஆழ்வார்களே முதல் ஆழ்வார்கள் சொல்லப்படும் முதல் 3 ஆழ்வார்கள் சிவனை ஸ்தோத்திரம் பண்ணி நிறைய பாட்டுகள்ல எழுதியிருக்கா அப்படின்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன். அதனால நம்ம எல்லாருமே வைஷ்ணவா அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தோட இந்த கான்பரன்ஸ்ல பங்கெடுத்துக்கிறதுல எனக்கு ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி ஏற்படுகிறது. நமஸ்காரம். ஓகே, this is my paper. Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj, Life and Works. Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj, hereafterwards I will shorten and call him as Maharajji. He was born in 1922 and he attained Goloka in 2013. He is a spiritual giant of our times. His achievements include Sanskrit studies in Banaras and practices in Chitrakoot, penance in fact in Chitrakoot forest. And when speaking about the love of Radha Krishna, spreading the message of Sri Radha Krishna throughout the world, conduct of satsangas for the benefit of the devotees, and preaching Vaishnava Bhakti philosophy to large audience, composition of large number of kirtans, more than 1000 kirtans are there, and bhajans, obtainment of the title Jagadguru from Kashi Vidyapith, reconciling the apparent contradictions among some of the Vaishnava sects, and training disciples like Swami Mukundanandaji, who happens to be the president of our university, Jagadguru Kripaluji University. So these are some of the greatest achievements of Maharaj. Maharaj composed kirtans in praise of Radha and Krishna. In fact, more kirtans on Radha than on Krishna. He set them to enchanting tunes and sang them himself. In fact, we can call him a Vageyakara. He composed them in the local dialect of Hindi called Brajbhasha. These kirtans are comparable to those of Mirabai, Kabirdas, Surdas, Tulasidas. His kirtans are now sung by all his devotees throughout the globe. Maharaj's contribution to the Vaishnava Bhakti is immense and unique. The Vaishnava Bhakti philosophy may be divided into Vishnu cult, Rama cult, and the Bhagavata and Alvar traditions. To the Bhagavata school belongs the Krishna Bhakti of the medieval periods, which saw the traditions emanating from the Dasa saints of South India, North India, the Vittala tradition of the West, and the Gaudiya saints of the East. We know that Jayadeva's Gita Govinda of 12th century gave a new impetus to the Radha cult. In the light of this, certain interesting developments took place in the Vaishnavism from the 15th century. There was one school that showed allegiance only to Krishna, while assigning an insignificant role to Radha, and the other conformed to the tradition of dedication of both Radha and Krishna. The latter one may be again subdivided into 3 groups. That is, number 1, treating Radha and Krishna on equal footing like Vallabhacharya. Number 2, Radha and Krishna Bhakti with emphasis on Krishna cult like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And third, same with emphasis on Radha as popularized by Swami Haridas of 15th century and Swami Harivansh. Well, these two saints consider Radha as Sarvopari, while the Gaudiya saints, Rupa Goswamin, Sanatana Goswamin, etc., Jiva Goswami, they consider Radha as Sri Krishna's Ahladini Shakti. But Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj does not see any contradiction in these two schools. He says that Radharani is Sri Krishna's Ahladini Shakti, as well as in one sense higher than Krishna himself, in the sense that Ananda, he is being the relish of Prema and depends on Prema actually, and even Ananda is subservient to it. So if you worship or crave for Prema, Ananda will automatically follow. Thus, Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj reconciled these two traditions by saying that the two are not separate. For example, commonplace example, Yamma Subbulakshmi is not separate from her singing. These two are one and the same. Hence, Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj is hailed as a great Samanvayacharya. The greatest contribution of Maharaji lies in the form of his books, lectures and kirtans. Kirtans particularly, very enchanting kirtans. And some of the features of his kirtans are discussed in this paper. One of the striking things about Maharaj's kirtans is simple style. It strikes the reader. For example, you say, Bandhan aur moksha ki karan manahi bakan. Bondage and liberation depend on the state of the mind. Whatever form of devotion you choose to do, keep the mind engaged in meditation upon God. One is reminded of the Amrita Bindu Upanishad statement, Manayeva Manushyanam Kananam Bandhamokshayoho. We may see a similar idea in his kirtans also. For example, Manu kyo nahi hari gun garaha, Manu kyo nahi hari gun garaha. Why doesn't the mind develop an attachment to Hari? Why don't you sing the glory of Hari instead of wasting your time and getting entangled in the material desires? And next point is Maharaj's devotion to Guru and emphasis on the tradition of Guru. He accords an exalted status for Guru. In one of his kirtans he says, Dhani manugadu dhama nivasusuno, etc. He says, O mind, you have been blessed with the residence in the divine abode of Mangad. Mangad is the birthplace of Maharaj. As a result of many lifetimes and virtuous actions, to get a Guru is not easy. Take advantage of a great fortune by surrendering to your Guru and serving him wholeheartedly. So like that there are several kirtans on the efficacy of Guru for that matter. Maharaj follows the Bheda school. As we may all know, there are great persons like Nimbarka who revolutionized this particular concept. There are several branches like Swabhavika, Dvaita Advaita and Aupadika, Bheda, etc. And then of course Achintya Bheda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So accordingly, the simple way to understand is like this. The Jiva is neither exclusive of Brahman nor identical with it. It is his energy. Jiva Shakti is one of the Shaktis of the Lord. The Bhagavad Gita itself says, Apareyam इतस्त्वन्यं प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतं महाबाहो यथेदं धार्यते जगत्. Creation of the elements is my inferior energy, but I have superior energy. This is the Jiva Shakti, the soul energy, which comprises the embodied souls. By the Jiva Shakti, the entire universe is maintained. Well, we all know that according to Advaita, Jiva is non-different from the Brahman at the absolute level. According to Dvaita, it is completely different from the Brahman. According to Vishishtadvaita, the Jiva, along with matter, forms the body of the Brahman. According to Bheda school, which is followed by Maharaj, Jiva is part of the spiritual energy of the Brahman. As is said in the Vishnu Purana, Ekadesha Sthitasya Angrit Jyotsna Vistarani Yatha. Just as the sun resides in one place, but its sunlight pervades the entire solar system. Similarly, there is one God who by his infinite powers pervades the three worlds. We have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's quotations also, Jiva Tattva Shakti, Krishna Tattva Shaktiman, etc. So, any energy is simultaneously one and different from the energetic. For example, the fire and the heat are one and the same, but there is also a difference. The fire can be seen, but not the heat. The heat can be measured, but not the fire. Likewise, there is difference as well as non-difference between the Brahman and the Jiva. This is brought out in scriptures, and Maharaj also explains it in a number of his places. We all know that everything exists in the world that comes under the purview of God. Purushasya vedagam sarvam yadbhutam yachabhavyam. We have the statement. And in the scriptures there are also statements which talk about the Veda. Veda Shrutis are said, Abheda Shrutis are said. Now, many scholars have tried to reconcile them, and our Maharaj has also tried that. That is the greatest point with respect to it. Maya. Maharaj follows, as we have already seen, Bheda school, and accordingly, Maya is one of the Shaktis of Bhagavan. He says, Jiva Maya Duyi Shakti Hai Shaktiman Bhagavan. And then, concept of Yoga Maya. Both Maya as well as Yoga Maya are the energies of God, but there is a thin line of difference between them. Maya is termed as his energy to create the world, while Yoga Maya is his power to conceal his true form during the incarnations. That is why sometimes Yashoda is able to see the divinity in him when he opens his mouth. And sometimes the Lord conceals it. So otherwise, she will lose that Madhurya Bhava. And then we have another point on Karma Yoga. Our Maharaj says, Mana Hari me, Tan Jagat me, Karma Yoga, Yehi Jana, etc. When one works in this world with the body but keeps the mind attached to God, know it to be the Karma Yoga. When one engages in spirituality with the body but keeps the mind attached to the world, know it to be ignorance. As we see, we have a lot of instances in Bhagavad Gita, for example. Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya arabate arjuna karmendrihi karma yoga masaktasya vishishyate. Now I will skip some of the points. I will just simply rush through. I'll just give an idea of what Maharaj has spoken. He has spoken about jnana and karma. He has spoken about yoga and bhakti. So according to Maharaj, yoga and bhakti are inseparable. Without yoga there is no bhakti, without bhakti there is no yoga. The purpose of yoga is to unite with God. Samyogo yoga ityukta jivatma paramatmana. Then about bliss. Attainment of bliss is the aim of all forms of bhakti and philosophy according to Indian tradition. Maharaj also, speaks about it in number of his kirtans. And then the threefold aspect of God. That is, as Brahman, as Paramatman, and as Bhagavan. So apparently these three terms seem to be synonymous. There is a slight difference. He says, in Brahman, the infinite energies of God are latent. As Paramatman, God displays name and forms in some way or the other. And as Bhagavan, he manifests all his energies in the various loving pastimes, his leelas, and that way he is called Bhagavan. Then about God's mercy, he is full of mercy, compassion, and emphasis on bhakti. Several aspects of bhakti like Madhura Bhakti. There are a number of kirtans for that matter. The mind should melt in bhakti. That is the most important aspect. Then pity is very important for bhakti. Viraha, as in the case of a heroine, so should be the nature of a devotee. And sometimes the devotee can also take liberty. He does take some liberties with God. He chides, why don't you come and save me? You are called as compassionate. So we have got lot of kirtans like that in Alvar Prabandhams as well as in the Dasar kirtans. So also Maharaj's kirtans exhibit this particular idea. The gopis are prepared to wait for you for any number of births. But our fear is that we are ignorant, we call you cruel, all these things. Therefore, how will you take care of us? But you should take care of us. Ethics, in the course of his kirtans, he lists number of ethical principles. For example, do not have attachment to your property, live like a traveler in an unattached manner. Cleanliness of the mind is emphasized. The material mind is dirty since it has carried all the ideas from the lifetimes. But purity is the fire of longing for God while practicing the utmost humility. I have given the bibliography also. So, the greatest contribution of Maharaji is to reconcile the different opinions of particularly the Gaudiya schools of philosophy. And second point is popularizing Vaishnava Bhakti in the 20th century and 21st century. Large number of devotees still practice the way that is shown us. Number 3 is kirtans and bhajans, which will live for thousands of years for that matter. Thank you very much.